Deep beneath the Earth, buried under layers of rock and steel, a 7,000-ton machine picked up something no one was ready for. A pulse so strange, so out of place, it sent shivers through control rooms and drew the immediate attention of one of the most recognizable physicists alive, Michio Kaku. This wasn't a glitch, it wasn't background noise, it was something entirely new. A burst that defied physics itself. A signal strong enough that if it means what some scientists fear, it could either unlock godlike powers or tip reality into irreversible collapse. So, what exactly did Kaku see that left him shaken? And why do some believe this single event could change the fate of the universe? The story begins with what physicists now call the 3-eye anomaly. It lasted less than a second. On CERN's Atlas detector, deep below Geneva, the monitors lit up with an energy spike where absolutely nothing should exist. It wasn't predicted by any model, didn't match any collision outcome, and couldn't be dismissed as noise. The data packet was so clean and so sharp that within hours, it earned a nickname whispered in hallways and encrypted group chats. The God Pulse. Veteran researchers stared at the numbers in disbelief. The standard model, the framework of physics that's held for decades, had no slot, no loophole, no wiggle room to explain what they were seeing. This wasn't just another blip in the chaos of billions of proton collisions. It was a perfect, inexplicable ripple. And the ripple wasn't just confusing, it was alarming. But the deeper physicists dug into the anomaly, the stranger it became. Normally, when anomalies appear in collider data, the first suspects are calibration errors, sensor misfires, or simple statistical noise. But this wasn't that. The 3-eye pulse cut directly across expectations, showing up in an energy zone, where theory insists the universe should be silent. It didn't match known particle decays. It wasn't a quantum fluctuation sneaking past the AI filters. Instead, it looked like a pattern from another set of rules entirely. That's what unsettled researchers most, because a signal this clean doesn't just question a line of math. Threatens to unravel the entire framework holding modern physics together. The last time physicists felt this mix of dread and excitement was during the hunt for the Higgs boson, but this was different. The Higgs was expected. The anomaly was not. Michio Kaku has built his career on walking the tightrope between advanced theory and public foresight. Co-founder of string field theory, best-selling author, and global science communicator. He's the kind of voice physicists listen to when a discovery seems too big, too strange, or too dangerous to ignore. Kak is known for ranking human technologies by danger at the bottom of his scale, everyday tools, safe and predictable. Higher up, artificial intelligence and genetic engineering technologies, with power to reshape civilization itself. But at the very top, reserved for only the rarest breakthroughs. He places discoveries that shake the very fabric of reality. Black holes in the lab, self-learning machines outpacing human thought, and signals that hint at cracks in the laws of the universe. When the encrypted 3-eye data landed in his inbox, Kaku's response was immediate and uncharacteristically grim. This wasn't the cautious optimism he usually carried into talks about AI or space exploration. This was different. This was a warning to him. The anomaly wasn't just a puzzle, it was a lever, and if pulled the wrong way, it could tip the universe itself. To understand why Kaku reacted this way, you have to know the machine that caught the pulse. Buried 100 meters beneath Geneva, the Atlas detector is one of the most ambitious machines humans have ever built. 5 stories tall, 7,000 tons, more massive than the Eiffel Tower, yet engineered with the precision of a Swiss watch. Atlas is wrapped around the heart of the Large Hadron Collider, where protons race at nearly the speed of light and smash. Together, in recreations of the universe's first moments, more than 100 million sensors form a digital fortress, tuned to catch the faintest echoes of particles that flicker into existence for fractions of a second. Each second, up to 1 billion collisions take place inside, unleashing storms of debris. Atlas filters through the chaos, discarding the noise, hunting for the rare events that don't belong. Think of it as a cosmic eye. trained to spot impossible ripples in the fabric of reality. And in this case, the eye saw something no theory could explain. What Atlas revealed didn't look like any force we know, which led some physicists to a shocking idea. For decades, science has recognized 4 fundamental forces: gravity, electromagnetism, the strong nuclear force, and the weak nuclear force. Each with its own rules, each woven into the standard model. The 3-eye anomaly didn't fit any of them. Its profile suggested something completely different, what some theorists are already calling a 5th force, if true. It could help solve mysteries the standard model has always struggled with. Dark matter, the invisible glue outweighing ordinary matter 5-1. Dark energy, the mysterious push making the universe expand faster and faster. Even the strange weakness of gravity compared to the other forces. One possibility is that the pulse was a messenger from the dark sectoral realm of particles that barely interact with ours. If so, the 3-eye event might be the first handshake across that cosmic divide. But if it wasn't a new force, then maybe it was something even more unsettling. String theory paints reality as a symphony of vibrating strings, each note shaping particles and forces. But for the math to work, the universe needs extra dimensions folded so tightly we can't see them. Some physicists describe our universe as a 3-dimensional membrane, or brain, floating in a higher dimensional space. In that picture, our reality is just one slice of a much bigger structure. The anomaly, with its sudden and rule-breaking signature, has led some to suggest it wasn't a particle at all. It was an echo from another brain, a tremor from a neighboring dimension brushing against our own. The equations allow for rare events where energy leaks across universes, producing signals that look alien to detectors built for just 3 dimensions. If that's true, then the 3-eye pulse isn't just a new force, it's evidence of a multiverse, where the boundaries between realities are thinner than we ever imagined. But even more alarming than extra dimensions was what the anomaly's numbers hinted at next. Physicists have long suspected that our universe may not be perfectly stable. The Higgs boson's measured mass suggests we could be living in a metastable stator, false vacuum. Stable enough for now, but not the lowest possible energy state. Picture a ball balanced on the top of a hill. It can stay there for ages, but the slightest nudge would send it rolling down into a valley, new state of reality. The terrifying scenario is called vacuum decay, a sudden phase transition that rewrites the rules of matter, energy, even space and time. A bubble of true vacuum would expand at near light speed, swallowing everything in its path. No warning, no defense. For decades, physicists treated it as a distant, almost philosophical risk. But the 3-eye anomaly's energy spike fell right in the danger zone theorists mapped for such a collapse, which means the calm, stable universe we rely on may be far more fragile than anyone wanted to admit, and that fragility echoes a troubling pattern seen throughout human history. Electricity began as a curiosity glass tubes glowing, sparks shocking fingertips. Within decades, it powered cities and rewrote civilization. Nuclear physics brought medical miracles, but also weapons powerful enough to level continents. Every leap forward comes with its shadow. The 3-eye anomaly could be the next. If it's a new force, it might offer breakthroughs in energy, communication, even medicine. If it's an echo of hidden dimensions, it could rewrite cosmology itself. But if it threatens vacuum stability, the risks reach far beyond power grids or research labs. They reach into the survival of reality itself. And once again, humanity faces the same haunting choice. Do we push forward into the unknown, or pull back before we trigger something we can't control? So far, CERN hasn't released a definitive explanation. Officially, the data remains under review. No one knows whether the anomaly was a glitch, a glimpse of a new force, or a warning from physics itself. But Michio Kaku's message cuts through the uncertainty. Discoveries like this aren't just science, they are tipping points for civilization. They can uplift us or destroy us depending on how we respond. The 3-eye anomaly is more than a spike on a graph. It's a reminder that the laws we take for granted may not be permanent, that the universe itself could be more fragile more mysterious, and more dangerous than we dare to imagine. And so the question isn't just what CERN discovered that day, it's whether we're ready to live in a world where the laws of nature themselves can break. Deep beneath the Earth, a 7,000-ton machine captured a signal no scientist saw coming. A burst so strange it triggered instant alarm from Michio Kaku himself. This isn't science fiction. It's the so-called third interdimensional interaction, or 3, recorded by CERN's Atlas detector. And Kaku warns it could catapult humanity into godlike danger or irreversible disaster. If this anomaly breaks the laws of physics, we could be standing at the edge of creation or destruction. What did Kaku see that made him sound the alarm? And why could this change the fate of the universe? The answer begins with a single inexplicable pulse. The first whispers of the 3 anomaly swept through the physics community like a shockwave. In the control rooms beneath Geneva, monitors flashed with data that defied every prediction. The signal lasted less than a second, a spike where nothing should exist. No collision model, no background noise, no known physics could explain it. Within hours, the data packet earned a nickname, the God Pulse. Even the most seasoned researchers stared at the readouts in disbelief. This wasn't a statistical blip or a calibration error. The anomaly cut straight across the standard model's expectations, registering at energies where theory says the universe should be silent. Atlas, the detector responsible for capturing this event, is designed to sift through billions of collisions every second, looking for the rarest signatures. But nothing in its years of operation had prepared the team for this. The 3 pulse didn't match any known particle decay, nor did it resemble the rare quantum fluctuations that sometimes sneak past even the most advanced machine learning filters. Instead, the event pattern looked like a ripple from another set of rules, a brief, impossible echo that left the world's most powerful detector momentarily blind to its own programming. The implications landed hard. A signal this far outside the norm isn't just a curiosity, it threatens to unravel decades of physics to force a rewrite of what we believe keeps the universe stable. For the first time since the Higgs, the sense of standing at the edge of discovery was matched by an undercurrent of dread. If the 3I anomaly is real, it could mean that the laws of reality are more fragile and more unpredictable than anyone imagined. The data spread encrypted to a handful of trusted theorists. Among them, Michio Kaku read the numbers and for a moment hesitated. The warning he would issue next would echo far beyond the walls of CERN. Michio Kaku's reputation as a physicist is built on a rare blend of deep theory and public foresight. He helped found string field theory, a cornerstone of modern attempts to unify the laws of nature. Yet, it's his ability to read the undercurrents of technology and sound the alarm before the rest of the world catches up that sets him apart. When the encrypted 3 data hit his inbox, Kaku's reaction was immediate and uncharacteristically grave. This wasn't the cautious optimism he has brought to quantum computing or AI. This felt different. Kaku has spent decades ranking humanity's technological leaps on a danger scale. At the bottom, he places everyday tools, safe, predictable, well understood. Higher up, he warns of technologies like AI and genetic engineering, powerful enough to rewrite the rules of civilization if left unchecked. But at the very top, he reserves a special place for discoveries that threaten the fabric of reality itself. Black holes in the lab, quantum computers that might outthink their creators, signals that hint at cracks in the universe's foundation. He's warned before that quantum leaps in physics can outpace our ability to control them. In lectures and books, Kaku has argued that the more godlike our science becomes, the greater the risk of stumbling into the unknown. String field theory, his own brainchild, predicts a universe of hidden dimensions and delicate balances, systems that could unravel if the wrong lever gets pulled. The numbers from AT suggested a lever had just been hit. To Kaku, the 3 anomaly wasn't just another puzzle for theorists, it was a wake-up call, the kind that demands not just curiosity, but caution. If the laws of physics are more brittle than we thought, then every new discovery carries the weight of consequences we might not see coming. Buried 100 meters beneath the outskirts of Geneva, Atlas stands as a monument to human curiosity and technical ambition, towering 5 stories high and stretching nearly half a football field in length. This detector weighs in at over 7,000 tons, more massive than the Eiffel Tower, yet engineered with the precision of a Swiss watch. Its layered structure forms a cylindrical fortress around the heart of the Large Hadron Collider, where protons collide at energies that mimic the first moments after the Big Bang. Atlas isn't just big, it's astonishingly sensitive. More than 100 million sensors are wired into its core, each one tuned to catch the tiniest shreds of evidence from particle collisions. Imagine a digital eye that can see a single photon flash in a blizzard of debris, or trace the faint curl of a moin as it escapes the chaos. These sensors record the aftermath of up to 1 billion collisions per second, generating a data torrent that would fill a stack of DVDs stretching to the moon every year. Yet only the rarest, most interesting events survive the detector's ruthless digital triage. The scale of Atlas is matched by its complexity. The inner tracker, built from carbon fiber composites and silicon sensors, sits at the very center. 4 nested barrels, each a marvel of miniaturization and alignment. Surrounding this, electromagnetic and hydronic calorimeters measure the energy of particles with a precision that rivals the best laboratory balances. The outermost layer, the muon spectrometer, is laced with powerful superconducting magnets and precision chambers built to spot the faintest signatures of particles that can pass through walls of lead and steel. Every collision inside Atlas is like smashing 2 intricate watches together, then trying to reconstruct not just the gears, but the laws that govern time itself. The detector sensors and algorithms sift through these fragments, searching for patterns that don't belong, signals that might hint at new forces, hidden particles, or cracks in the structure of reality. When the 3I anomaly appeared, it was this colossal machine that caught its fleeting trace, translating a momentary ripple in the quantum fabric into a string of numbers that would unsettle the world's leading physicists. Atlas, with its vast, silent chambers and relentless digital gaze, had once again proven that even the most fleeting mysteries of the universe leave fingerprints if you know where and how to look. Physicists began mapping the anomaly against the known forces of nature, gravity, electromagnetism, the strong and weak nuclear forces. Each has its own signature, its own rules. But the 3E pulse didn't fit. It didn't behave like a stray photon or a rogue gluon. Its energy profile, its fleeting presence, and its refusal to decay into anything familiar left theorists with a stark possibility, a 5th force lurking in the data. The standard model has always been a patchwork, brilliant but incomplete. It can't explain dark matter, the invisible glue that outweighs ordinary matter 5 to 1. It doesn't account for the universe's accelerating expansion, or why gravity is so much weaker than the other forces. For decades, physicists have hunted for evidence of another interaction, something subtle, something hidden. The 3I anomaly, with its clean break from known decay chains, handed them a new candidate. Some theorists proposed that this signal might be a messenger from the dark sector, a world of particles that barely brush against our own. If so, the 3I event could be the first handshake across that divide. Instead of a new particle, it might be a new way that matter talks to itself, an interaction that only reveals itself under the most extreme conditions. If this 5th force exists, its influence could stretch far beyond the lab. Dark matter shapes galaxies, bends light, and sculpts the universe on the largest scales. A new force could mean new forms of matter, new rules for stability, even new risks for technology and energy. The equations would have to be rewritten. The boundaries of what's possible and what's dangerous would shift overnight. That's why the 3I event rattled even the most cautious theorists. Suddenly, the question wasn't just what the universe is made of. It was whether humanity is ready to wield knowledge that could change the balance of nature itself. Electricity was once a curiosity, flickering in glass tubes and shocking the fingertips of showmen. It took only a few decades for that invisible force to reshape cities, ignite industries, and expose new risks no one had imagined. In the 20th century, nuclear physics offered a similar promise. Limitless power, medical breakthroughs, and the shadow of annihilation. The same equations that lit up hospital scanners also built arsenals that could level continents. Each leap in understanding brought new tools, and with them, consequences that rippled through every home, every nation. Now, physicists are staring at data that hints at something deeper. A force that could make electricity and the atom look tame by comparison. If the 3R anomaly points to a new interaction, it's not just a question for the next generation of textbooks. It's a question for every person who relies on the stability of matter, the predictability of technology, the safety of their world. History shows that when humanity unlocks a new force, the effects are never contained to the lab. The telegraph made empires feel small. The reactor core made governments rethink war.